Obrigado por estarem aqui para a apresentação do Ninfomaníaca, o Director's Cut 1 and 2. And with me I have Willem Dafoe, one you know, all of you know. Ricky and Sila from Trust Nordics Zontropa, the producers of the movie. And I'd like, you know, we show here Nymphomaniac 1 and 2, and was a success. And the moment we show it, it was announced that it was not the director's cut, and that will be another version. And I'd like to know exactly, first, from you, how did this happens? It was just a marketing thing. I didn't see the director's cut. I know that it's much longer. I know all this, but I'd like to know how you decide to do first the other version and now this one. How Lars was involved on this, and what happens?
Well, now that's a very good question there, and it's a very long story. Started a long time ago in a room where Lars first presented his ideas about Nymphomaniac. And I remember Peter Aalbæk and Louise West, who is actually the real producer of the film, asking Lars, okay Lars, this is a great idea. Just remember, the film must not be over 2.5, 3 hours. And Lars said, I'll have to think about that. He came back with a script of around 500 pages. And anyone who has to do with the film business knows that's approximately 5 to 6 hours. All right, and then we read the script, and you will see tonight why the version shown tonight was not the international version first shown. Some pretty hectic scenes will come out. So that's actually where it all started. So that was the situation, and we thought, okay, you know, why not turn a weakness into a great thing, actually? And that's where we started the whole marketing campaign. That started, you know, even while the film was being produced.
And but Lars was agreed in a way, the way you have done the things. You know, what he agreed with all these things, everything, and because for us distributors was really something that we are completely okay. We are opening a movie, and now we have someone saying, okay, it's not the director's cut. You know how in Europe the director's cut it's important. And what I'm going to do, how to do it, you know, and after I asked Willem, did you see this version?
I haven't. I haven't. Actually, my involvement in it is quite small, but I'm happy to be here because Lars is someone that I adore. I love his cinema, and I've worked with him a couple of times very happily before this. No, I haven't seen this cut, but I think we're lucky because it hasn't been released that many places. It will be. But what I heard, of course, you know the story, is Lars sort of accepted, you know, releasing it in 2 versions. I mean, he's pragmatic. Lars eventually always gets his way. And the nice thing is, this is his way. Yeah. And you're going to get to see it tonight. So that's the good news.
Okay, just one or two more things. When you see, you know, this version, how was the reactions of the people, and what is the reaction of the critics? Did you get any different critics, any different view? Something changed in the way the film was accepted the first time, or hated, because the film had, you know, the two, you know, different reactions, you know. Something changed. Someone changed opinion about the film when they saw this old version.
I mean, we already had pretty good reviews on the, you could say, the international short version. But when this came out, especially in Denmark, I think I've never in my time seen so many good reviews. It was 6 stars all over the place, and it's very, you know, it's very easy to see that this is, you know, the masterpiece of Lars. This is his work here in the long version, and I think it's food for thought, you know, in the future, whether you should cut versions, you know, of a director. Of course, we had to, financing-wise as well, because otherwise it would not be possible to have media support. But it's no doubt that the reviews of this one has been better than the international version.
But that is the problem, you know. If really is the masterpiece of Lars, not, you know, in the cinemas, not so many people going to see this. Most of the film is going to release on the internet or something like that. And in a way, I think we miss something, you know, all of us. And maybe, like you say, this is a kind of lesson for us producers, you know, when we try to do something in a way, not against, but try to impose our view, sometimes to directors like Lars, and even if sometimes maybe we were right, because but we didn't do it because you never know. The story is never, you know, one side of the other. It's always, you never know, you know. But now that Lars feels that, did he feel some regrets about everything that happens?
Actually, I think, you know, Lars was along all the way. Although he's definitely an artist, he understands, you know, that it has to be commercially viable somehow. And the fact that the international version got to Berlin and afterwards Venice, of course, made him very happy. And I think, you know, for Lars, the most important thing is knowing that his version, the director's cut, gets a life out there, and a very long life. In some countries it will have event screenings, afterwards go out theatrically, and then of course on the VOD market it's going to be huge internationally. So Lars is happy, and that's his own words, but you know, Lars should have the freedom to do whatever he likes, whether it's 3, 5, 6, 8 hours. I totally agree.
No, we understood that next Leffest'14 will have 12 hours, you know. Anyway, but yeah, and you cannot forget that Lars is a producer as well, you know. And in a way, I think he has the two, you know, the mind is in two, you know, producer and director, because and it's a very good producer. He knows how to do it and how to make, you know, to invent, you know, the way out, the marketing. From 20 years, I think a lot of us we have to learn about Leffest'14. And just last question to Willem. I think you were involved in lately a project. It was exactly the same kind of discussions, not the same because the director was more tough. Is Welcome to New York, and I think it was a kind of discussion between the length of the Welcome to New York. You know Abel very well. I know that you were not in the movie, but the same. I think the film was a little bit lost in all these discussions, and the film was shown only mostly in the VOD internet. And what Abel himself feels about all this discussion? Do you know something? Can you tell us something?
You know, it's better for Abel to say, but I think I feel safe in saying a couple of things. Basically, the issue was in the distribution of the film, many distributors were putting a condition on not only time, but the cut. And basically, Abel, as an American filmmaker, is really shocked that how the final cut is something that's pretty clear in Europe, but in the States, it's something that is disappearing final cut for a director. And I guess he was basically protesting that, and that to his mind, it's the death of the cinema when the director's cut is not respected. I think that's all safe to say. Other than the details, I can't really say.
Okay, thank you. And what I will say to Abel, that for next movie, he should be producer and director, and maybe he will accept, the producer side will accept cuts that the director side will not accept. I can tell you about that history, it's a true story about a Portuguese director that once decided to produce himself. And João César Monteiro, his only film he produced, he called A Flor do Mar. And after 2 weeks of shooting, he asked the crew to be together, all together, and make a speech telling, you are all fantastic, everyone is fantastic. I'm just having a small problem that can be a big problem with my director. Thank you very much.